at a time when the American and British intelligence were searching around the world for Osama bin Laden. Elements of the Pakistani intelligence were drinking tea with him, and at a time when Russia and China were on alert to protect their borders with Afghanistan after the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan. It is the Taliban who are working to secure the borders of Pakistan. And the reason they did this is because of the Pakistani intelligence service, the most powerful intelligence services in the world, as it is a source of concern for India and terror in Central Asia. According to many classifications, the Pakistani intelligence service, specifically ISI, tops the list of the most powerful intelligence services in the world, and thus is stronger than intelligence services that have great experience in this field, such as the American CIA, and the Israeli Mossad, and others. This is due to the efficiency and strength of its elements that operate in various regions around the world. This is in addition to the complexity and accuracy of the plans and operations they carried out, according to a U.S. intelligence report. And the ISI is the largest of the 5 Pakistani intelligence services. This agency was established in 1948 after the establishment of the state of Pakistan. In that period, Pakistan entered an open war with its neighbor India because they were one country, and because of these wars with India, the Pakistani government decided to build and develop its security capabilities and the military to confront the big country, which is India. So the Pakistani government developed nuclear weapons to confront India, which it previously possessed, and Pakistan wanted to develop other strengths to excel over India. So it developed a very powerful intelligence agency, which is the most powerful in the world according to classifications. This agency has been at the top of the intelligence list since 2011, but the question is, how did this agency reach this strength? In the year 1979, the world's attention turned to Pakistan, the neighboring country of Afghanistan, where Pakistan had influence in Afghanistan even with the existence of the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, as the Western countries wanted to deal a strong blow to the Soviets in Afghanistan by arming Afghan soldiers who wanted to expel the Soviet Union from their lands. But these Afghan soldiers they lack weapons and experience, and no one is able to provide these matters to them except Pakistan, where this operation was going secretly and was carried out by the intelligence services, and here the power of the Pakistani ISI appeared as a party that the United States of America dealt with, where the ISI was, that is, he receives support, money and weapons from the West, and then they hand it over to the Afghan soldiers. Where a large part of the money of Western countries remains with the Pakistani intelligence service, and the intelligence service trained Afghan soldiers on weapons. During the 10 years of the war, Pakistan owned 90% of the keys to the game in Afghanistan. After the withdrawal of the Soviets and Afghanistan's entry into chaos and civil war, during which a few years ago, Pakistan managed to end the war and hand over power to the Taliban, which means that the Pakistani intelligence actually possesses the keys to Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is an organization that America considers a dangerous terrorist organization that was based in Afghanistan. This is what the writer Steve Cole referred to in his book The Ghost of Wars in 1998, in which he said that Pakistani officers met Osama bin Laden and that Pakistan owns more than 9 regions in Afghanistan, in which there are elements of its intelligence, and runs the scene through it. So when the United States wanted the invasion of Pakistan, had to obtain the consent of Pakistan, as Pakistan is the only one capable of facilitating the task of invading Afghanistan. During that period, George Bush put pressure on Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan, to persuade it to agree to enter the so-called war against terrorism, where George Bush played on India's card, the enemy's neighbor to Pakistan, and the battle against India is the one in which the Pakistani intelligence service proved its strength and efficiency. The war between the two countries is like the Cold War in which the intelligence plays the largest role. India and Pakistan entered into small skirmishes, but they depend on the intelligence. After several explosions, New Delhi accused Pakistan and its intelligence because they know that this is a game for the Pakistani intelligence. And that game is hitting the targets without leaving any evidence to accuse the Pakistani intelligence, as they were hitting strikes without leaving behind any loophole that condemns them, as the intelligence was hitting and bombing terrorist sites with one hand and treating wounds with the other hand, and this matter is not mastered by anyone else, and the operations did not it is confined only to Pakistan and India, but has reached far beyond areas and they have not left any trace against them, and this made the voices in favor of separating this Pakistani ISI and dismantling it. The British Defence Academy of the Ministry of Defence published a report in 2006 indicating frankly the role of the Pakistani intelligence service and his relations with terrorist movements and this apparatus. Even the former Pakistani Prime Minister, Benazir Bhutto, said that it is a state within a state, although it follows the Prime Minister and he is part of the Pakistani army, but in fact he is the one who runs the country and his foreign policies. He is the one behind the coups in Pakistan and he is one of the putting the army in power and it controls those who rule in Islamabad, and one of the most dangerous roles of this apparatus is that it is the supervisor of Pakistan's nuclear program and electoral processes and others. And he is also spying on foreigners and foreign diplomatic missions in Pakistan, and he is responsible for partnership and coordination with Western countries. The apparatus is responsible not for the secret war against India and Afghanistan. It is also responsible for managing the secret war against Iran as well as confronting China and preventing it from expansion in Asia and monitoring the Russians as well. For those who do not know, this apparatus is also responsible for supporting the Sikhs in India to separate from the Indian government. The Pakistan apparatus also contributed to the Caucasus wars against Russia and the secession of some Islamic republics from the Soviet Union, and also the apparatus managed to penetrate into several countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei, and reports indicated that the apparatus played a role in Sri Lanka, in terms of ethnic and sectarian turmoil, and also had a role in Arab countries, where armed organizations abound. All this is said about the most powerful intelligence services in the world.